Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
It's one mic. It's one mic.
Give me a moment, would you, friend? I've never been on trial for my thoughts before.
Welcome to the Only One Mic Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Gerard, Brooklyn Trey, just me. And today we are back, New Year. Going to talk about George Floyd's niece, unfortunately being shot. Eric Adams is good for New York. Made a little crazy statement according to the public opinion. And Antonio Brown, we all know what's going on with that, but we're going to do a deeper dive. How y'all doing?
Oh, great.
I'm good. Feeling good. Feeling good.
All right. Well, if you folks out there probably noticed, we a little nasal and all that. You know, me and Jess got hit with that 19, so, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's everything we thought it would be, too.
Yeah.
It's a trifecta now. Everybody has
Yeah, man. I thought at first, I'm like, you know, when it's almost like when they tell you got it, that's when the symptoms start sinking.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, man. But that body aches, all that stuff was for real, folks.
Yes.
The thing you got to be worried about, man, is the COVID pneumonia.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's what I ended up catching. I think COVID wasn't bad for me, but COVID pneumonia was horrible.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it ain't no joke, man. Get that fluid in your lungs. I know a lot of it is like the nasal joint and all that, but you know, a lot better than what it was. You know what I mean? I can speak for myself. So
Keep that
My
water,
body was. My body
keep that
was
water and
hurting.
lemon in you.
yeah.
Hot water and lemon.
What you saying, Josh?
You know, my body was killing me, and you know, I was in the hospital Christmas Eve, like, oh my God, I'm about to die. But what scared me was the doctor was like, yo, listen, we got to do this test because now when people get COVID, they get blood clots. I said, oh Lord, I was so nervous. My whole family is in Atlanta. I'm like, oh my God, please, I don't want this to be the end.
Hold on. You know, when I got nervous and, you know, because we go to church, so, you know, we real spiritual. So, you know, we thinking about life and death. But when the doctor came in, he was like, we want you to sign these forms. I mean, just in case you have to go on a ventilator or whatever. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. We ain't got
Well, then a what?
yeah, like, whoa.
Hey, wait a minute. What did you see that I didn't feel? You know what I mean? So it's real crazy. So, you know, but thank God we're here. A lot of people didn't make this thing, man. You know, seeing it through. You know, it's like a lot of people that was catching it. I'm looking at the news and they like dying, saying because of COVID oh my gosh, I'm losing my words. Complications. And, you know, like 35, 40, you know, 25.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, like the big thing now is that people are saying, you know, when someone dies, you know, they just strike it up as, well, they had COVID too. You know what I mean? So we don't know if that's like accurate cause of death or that was something that they found out when they actually died. Like when George Floyd died, they was like, oh, he had COVID too. You know what I mean?
Right.
The COVID didn't kill him. That chokehold did. But
Right.
so speaking of which, y'all, I don't know if you heard, but unfortunately, his niece just came out of Houston. His niece was shot over the weekend. You know what I mean?
Is she living or?
Yeah. Fortunately, the baby made it. 4 years old, Ariana Delane. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this report here. This is out of ABC News. Just listen to this.
4-year-old Ariana Delane now recovering from her wounds.
My daughter don't know. I can't explain that to her. What happened? You know, you're the father supposed to be able to protect the kids.
Police say someone sprayed the apartment with bullets early New Year's Day, but the family believes the home was targeted. It's the same apartment seen here, where George Floyd's family gathered last year to watch the Derek Chauvin verdict.
We got a hit right here.
He's pointing to the window.
We got a hit here.
The gunfire punctured Ariana's lung and liver, breaking 3 of her ribs. She was sleeping at the time.
My daughter jumped up and said, "Daddy, I've been hit." And I was shocked until I seen the blood, until I realized that my 4-year-old daughter was really hit. And she don't know what's going on. She was asleep.
Ariana's father says he called 911 around 3 a.m., but he says police didn't show up until 4 hours later.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to stop right there. Police didn't show up till 4 hours later.
So the cops did it.
We can't say that, man.
Yeah, I can say it.
Nah.
Well, you know what? Allegedly or speculatively, that's what, you draw your own conclusion. I mean, it just sounds suspicious. I'll let it ride like that. But hold on, let me let you hear the rest of this so you can get it in better context.
Houston police now launching an internal investigation into the response time.
If he had a child, that's the only way he gonna understand how he really feel.
Ariana had surgery and is in stable condition. Police do not yet have any suspects.
Yeah, no suspects.
So
they did it. It was the police.
You think so?
Yeah, because come on, what do y'all? It's like, come on, they mad because one of their own. You know what I'm saying? They got in trouble for that. I don't know. I think it's the cops. How they don't come till 4 hours later?
Well, you know what happened initially. The report that I had, and they said that when they went to the house, the family was like, "Look, we know who did it," and pretty much, it was a coincidence. That's what they claim. But you don't see like any of the reports actually say that, because that was just a quote that was taken from, one of the family members. So that's why the conclusion looks a little like, unless somebody in the crib had beef with somebody, and it's a lot of speculation. But it's just like you said earlier, Jess, when I was telling you about it, is that you don't really see anybody talking about it.
Honestly speaking, that situation with George Floyd is so touchy. I think even if a cop was bold enough to do something as crazy as that, let me change that. I don't even think that nobody wants to play with that. You know what I mean? I don't think the police want to play with that.
Oh, yeah, of course they do. They mad.
Yeah, but who would be willing to risk their life and career? Who? If you got caught up on that, it's over.
Unless you was drunk or something that night.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I ain't trying to Scooby-Doo this thing, but
I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm not going to say that they're not above doing anything crazy. I don't know. I would assume that it might just be simply some random racist fanatic that might have just threw a couple of shots in the house or something like that. If that, you know what I mean? Like some people are just crazy like that. They say, "Oh, George Floyd lived there, or his people lived there. Let's do this." You know what I mean? I could see that happening. I don't necessarily know if I would say I would think the cops be involved.
Yeah, it's just that's something that we can keep an eye on it.
I think it was the police.
I'm a conspiracy theory nut. You know what I mean? I don't know. I would just think if I'm a white officer, the last thing I want to do is touch anything pertaining to George Floyd.
Yeah, but some of them don't care.
That's true. I mean, that could be the truth.
They just don't care,
Do you think,
and especially when one of their own got to go down for something like that, when really, it's a lot of cops that want a whole lot of black people dead.
Yeah,
you think somebody just might have had some issues, man? And
I don't know. And then again, I don't know the history of the family, man. You don't know what their family is involved in and whatever. You know what I mean? I just don't want to just throw it out there no more. Like I said, lately I've been on this kick where it's like, I don't just go ahead and I try not to assume. You know what I mean? Try to get some more facts to it. Cause,
save that for me. I think the cops did
it. Try not to assume.
All right, so moving on. Another story that's big in the news is New York's new mayor, Eric Adams. All right. So, full disclosure, we from New York, born and raised, but like a couple of mayors done switched hands since we moved. So get a lot of my information from the news.
You're from Delaware.
Don't play.
No, don't do that.
All right. So we are. Then what are you?
I'm in New York right now.
No, you in New York right now. Right now.
You don't even count. You don't even count. We from the grit and the grime of it all. We from
crack era.
Crack era.
Stuff
Name the streets, Nostrand.
You read the history books. We was a part of it.
I'm born in Stellar Place, but I'm a Nostrand Ave baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? born on Nostrand Park. So
yeah, what happens is that he took off right when the ball dropped, actually, after the ball dropped, excuse me. And so he is now officially a mayor in New York. So they said like his first 70-something hours, he's like pissing off a lot of people. But what happens is we don't know if it's just like, his, I don't want to use the word arrogance or, swag, if the kids still say that.
He's a prima donna.
Yeah, it might be in some areas, like, when you're looking at it, like, man, he might be doing too much. You know what I mean? But, what happens is, like, an example when they was talking about the whole thing with the COVID numbers. COVID numbers in New York is outrageous. Jess, you could speak to that. So, yeah. Outrageous numbers, right? So what's your stance on the whole school situation? I'm not asking you because you're in New York. Like
school?
Yeah, because that's like the big thing that's going on. With,
well, so in my area, I'm in Westchester County, so that's Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, Yonkers, White Plains, that area. So right now, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, and Yonkers schools are all remote until, I believe, the 18th. To me, if you think about it, this time of the year, having a niece and a nephew that's in elementary schools, they always get sick around this time of the year, and the kids pass the colds to each other. You're in an environment where colds get passed around a lot. Right. With COVID, it's important to disinfect, and I feel like basically nobody's going in these classrooms after these kids leave and sterilizing anything. They don't have the manpower to do that. You know what I mean? They don't have it. So the schools are not safe. It's not safe anywhere, really. I mean, I've literally just made a joke and said, to you guys, it's like they sprayed COVID, because there's so many vaccinated people and unvaccinated with COVID right now.
But I got to stop you right there, because Eric Adams says school is the safest place these kids can be.
That's a lie. School was not safe before there was COVID.
No, I mean, it ain't safe now because of gang activity and everything else. But I mean, it depends on how you define safety, though. You know what I mean? No. Hear me out. It might sound crazy, but like, say we thinking safety in terms of, well, that's not where the germs is at, which we all know that's a lie. But maybe he means safe in the sense of this is where a kid is getting their food from, their education, in some cases, the attention and love that they probably don't get at home. Safety can be defined in different terms. You know what I mean? But
it might mean safe also too in the sense of, as far as like violence is concerned. I mean, I don't know.
It's a lot of violence going on. Yeah.
It was violent. It was
super violent.
Crazy when we were kids. So.
Yeah, like these kids now have no code, so that's a whole other show. But he was saying that, in regards to the schools and all of that, he was like, they're not closing, and the kids aren't going remote. That's the school portion. So now he was really getting on a lot of the banks and whatnot and the other businesses because, they're not letting the employees come back right away, which he's saying is affecting the economy. So when asked the other day, about businesses returning back to normal and what did he feel about it and the timeline and all, this is what Eric Adams had to say. Now he caught a lot of backlash for this. Hold on.
The businesses called me, and they're having a real problem getting employees back. Many employees are saying, we don't want to come back in the office. And to say, listen, I need you to come back for 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and then we continue to evolve. But there's a large number of businesses. You should speak to some of the businesses that the employees are saying, we no longer want to come back in the office. Now, that's fine if we weren't connected. But as I said earlier, that accountant, I need him to go to the cleaners. I need him to go down to Dunkin' Donuts. I need him to go to the restaurant. I need him to bring in a business traveler. And if we say that, well, I don't have to come in, I'm still getting my salary, then you are not helping those New Yorkers that need us to come in. So I want my businesses in this city to come up with a closer deadline and say we're going to start placing our toe back in the water, come in for 2 days for 3 days, and then let's get this city back up and operating.
But to say we're just going to revisit this in April. That's too long for you.
It is, you know, January, February, March, April, 4 months of not having this business patronized, not having a restaurant patronized, not having business travelers come here to the city to go to our hotels. That is going to be devastating for our economy. And I don't know if my businesses are sharing with their employees. You are part of the ecosystem of this city. My low-skilled workers, my cooks, my dishwashers, my messengers, my shoe shine people, those who work in Dunkin' Donuts, they don't have the academic skills to sit in a corner office. They need this. We are in this together.
Now, that's where he took the flack from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he basically saying like, yo, you know, if you work at Dunkin' Donuts, shine shoes, whatever, you're not smart enough to work in the office. Now,
he was on point until he said that.
You know, like, yeah. And that's where he's getting a lot of flack from a lot of people. You know what I mean? So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
I mean, do you think that...
Stupid.
Well, he said something stupid, but I mean, the only reason that, you know, for anybody that's listening, I played the full clip because, respectfully, everybody just got that portion when he said what he said.
Right.
You know, without getting the context of the question or the full explaining of what he did. I think he went on a little bit longer than he should have, and something dumb came out. But, you know, in terms of like the businesses returning, what did y'all think about his statement in that regard?
He's a politician, so his whole, right now with this pandemic, his whole political life is based off of you know, people going back to work. If they don't go back to work, like he said, it's a part of a economic system. And if people ain't at work and people still hustling the system, because there's a lot of people that's just right now. I'm not saying that there ain't people that's sick. Definitely there's people that's sick and they're truly out of work because of the pandemic. But there's a lot of people that are out here saying, like, I could hustle the system. And they actually are doing that. So I'm not going to, again, I'm not knocking anybody who is actually sick, but there's a lot of people who are working the system. You know,
no,
and
he did say,
and the other side of it too is if you want to stay home because you're scared to go to work, who am I to say that you should?
Well, I think what he was saying too is that if you're going to go that route, then maybe the businesses should come up with a better plan and present that plan, you know, as opposed, I guess, they wanted him to wait until April to present a plan, which he was saying if you waited that long, you'll cripple the economy for New York. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
so he's right in a sense. And I kind of, you know, because, you know, within the last couple of years, I just started investing. So I actually see it. You know what I mean? For people who are not investing or anything like that, or, you know, don't care about the economy, they just care about themselves individually, then you might not see what's going on. But I mean, if you look at the airline industry, you look at, cruise lines and all the other stuff like that, all that stuff is going down. And if people don't go back to work, the economy is going to be real jacked up, man. We might be in a depression soon. And we're definitely in a situation right now. I mean, with all the money that's been pulled from the Federal Reserve, we're definitely in a situation right now within the next couple of years. I think the stock market went down earlier today because they were talking about how inflation is at its worst, at its all-time high. You know what I mean? So people going to have to go back to work. But if not, like you said, it's going to trickle down to everybody else. Everybody's going to get it.
And I think that's what happens too nationwide is that, you know, when we was talking about the kids going back to school and everything that you're seeing right now is a political football. Because if you remember back when Trump was debating Joe Biden, and one of the debates they had, Trump told him, he said, yo, Joe, if you shut this country down again, it's not going to be in America. The economy is going to tank. You know what I mean?
It was true.
So what you're seeing right now is even though that this surge is actually worse than it was last year around this time, that they're going to do everything possible not to go back to the way that it was. Not to mention you have right now, they call it Great Resignation, because a lot of people actually quit their jobs, which is hurting the economy too.
Right.
But a lot of people who quit their jobs are not just sitting home collecting checks. A lot of people had a lot of time to think last year, come up with new ideas, come up with new ways and new avenues, realize whether or not they took the right career path or they just tired of what they're doing. And they went and made a lane for themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you starting a small business or, you know, something obscure that you might not think the public want right away, it's going to take time for that to take off anyway. You know what I mean? So, but in that time that it's taking off, it takes time, it takes away from the economy because nobody's, you know, going to invest in, you know, let's just say like, you know, Joe's Crab Shack somewhere on a truck and McDonald's is losing all type of money. You know what I mean? It takes time to get to those portions where
you need to be.
Right where you need to be. So yeah, I can understand. But the whole pretty much the world need ditch digger comment that he made at the end.
Yeah, he went. You know what? He went too far, but he probably said something that most people think. You know what I mean?
And just don't say it.
And don't say it. I mean, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying that it's right because there are people who work in Dunkin' Donuts who got college degrees and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just
remember the dude that was Elvin from the Cosby Show, husband, and everybody was joking on him a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he worked at Whole Foods.
He was in what, Home Depot or something?
No, it was a Whole Foods.
I think Whole Foods.
Whole Foods,
like cashier or something like that.
And now you watching him on Power. So I mean, you know, like he was educated enough to. He probably could have got a job anywhere, but he was doing what he had to do to support his family. You never know somebody's situation. It could be people at Dunkin' Donuts smarter than some college professors. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a perfect. That's in regards to New York City. In regards to New York City, there are a lot of people who are college educated that are in some horrible positions because the competition is so fierce. And a lot of people don't want to move out of state. They want to stay where they're born, you know, where their family is at and stuff like that. And they'll do it and take less pay and all the other stuff just to stay in the city. You know what I mean?
Well, and to speak to your credit right there, what you just said was, you know, how many people that you know that come from the Midwest, from California, you know, and they think that because they watch the show like Friends, that working in like Starbucks is like the best job ever, or working in some little coffee bar. But meanwhile, it doesn't mean they're not educated. You know what I mean?
But then they're also doing New York different. We grew up in New York, but we grew up in, you know, how, you know, in these apartments and projects and all the other stuff like that. They're doing New York where it's like my four buddies in Minnesota just decided to get an apartment in New York, and they all crammed in one apartment and they're just living a life like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, us from New York, we have a different experience, man. You know what I mean? So we ain't, you know, we just have our family there and that's it, you know. But you know, and like you said, if we walk even in our old neighborhood now, man, everybody's walking around looking like Carrie. You know what I mean? Off of Sex and the City. You know what I mean? So I think actually she did a lot for people. A lot of people coming into New York with this
wide-eyed view of it.
Yeah, wide-eyed view of New York City, which is crazy because they've kind of turned it into that. You know
they say it's a tourist attraction. You know, pretty much. So
they definitely turned it into that. Because if you go to New York now, our old neighborhoods and stuff like that, you know, they ain't like they used to be.
I know Harlem isn't.
Oh no, Harlem is wow. Yeah.
You go to Fort Greene, you got white women drinking wine on fire escapes, and you know what I mean. And they got their table out there eating dinner on the fire escape, all kind of stuff.
Do you know Red Hook is one of the most trendiest places in New York right now?
Really?
Really. Red Hook. Red Hook, Brooklyn, folks.
Spike Lee said it best. He said Fort Greene Park look like the Westminster Dog Show right now.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So
it's bugged out.
It's a different time, man.
Definitely.
Different time, man.
So, you know, speaking of the, you know, whole job situation, all right? Antonio Brown, you know.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Hold on, let's see what Bruce Aaron has had to say.
you've ever had a day or a week like this where you're out with COVID, you're back, you have players late on a plane, you have players going off the field shirtless in the middle of the game, and then you also win on a touchdown.
Not players,
with 15
not
seconds
players.
left.
One player.
Yeah, we all know who that player is, right?
I gotta say something, man.
Go ahead.
Initially, I was gonna be like, yo, I loved it. I don't care why he did it. I love it because there's all types of conspiracy theories, I guess, whatever rumors going around about.
Don't backpedal now. Don't backpedal now. Earlier, you was kind of supporting this dude, man.
Yeah, I was. I was because I like crazy, but that's just me. I can admit that, but I was supporting what he was doing because I initially thought that they was trying to stall him out, right? And I thought that he got frustrated because he was like right there about to get he was about to get like $333,000 more if it was like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he was saying it's based on his contract that if he reached a certain goal, he was going to get more money, supposedly.
And initially, I thought that, I get it. Walk out. You tired? You fed up? Go ahead. Go off the field. Let them know. But then I started reading up on dude because, of course, we had to do the show. And this guy, he's not a good guy. He's done a lot of crazy stuff. Like they said he threw his furniture when he was playing for the Steelers. I don't know if y'all know about this, but
yeah, we do.
Okay, you heard about how he threw his furniture out of a 14th floor apartment and he hit a 22-month-old child?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
he got.
I know he's always been like a loose cannon, and At the end of the day, man, I was actually I do my rare argument on Facebook, and I was talking to somebody had put this up as a topic, so I put on there like basically like you're a man, like he just destroyed so many things and so many opportunities for himself, just off an emotional decision. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that he shouldn't walk off the field. I don't know what, if what was said to him was enough to make him want to quit, playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But on the same token, what's the purpose of taking off your clothes?
But did he quit?
They let him go. I think they were saying basically like, this is what was hearsay. I don't know how true it is. So I'll put that down allegedly. They were saying that Bruce Arians was telling him, like, if he doesn't get in the game, then he's not a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Somebody said that. How true it is, I don't know. But let's say, for instance, I don't think for the money that he makes, there are a lot of people in the world that are dealing with a whole lot more at work, a whole lot of disrespect, stuff like that. And they bow down every day just to go to work. You know what I mean? How many people got pictures of their kids on their desks? Something
to remind you why you're doing this.
Yeah, something to remind you why you here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he got 4 kids. Four kids. You shouldn't make rash decisions. I don't know. I'm not a parent. I'm not trying to tell people how to parent. But to me, my if I have 4 children at home, my main priority, my goal in life is going to be to make sure that my children are taken care of.
He has enough money right now. I'm quite sure that his kids will be all right. You know what I mean?
I don't know. His money ain't like, it may not be where it's supposed to be because of all of the trouble that he's been in. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he doesn't have good money, but he might not be sitting on the type of money that most athletes of his talent should be sitting on.
Yeah, but his troubled money is probably better than the 9-to-5 money.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
But the other side of it is that he has an opportunity for generational wealth, man, where his wealth will affect his grandkids. And all of that is just emotional decision, for what? What are you proving? And not to mention, not only did he walk off the field, he's not going to, they're letting him go. He's messed himself up for future money. He's probably never going to get another check in the NFL ever again because there's so many people that have stuck their neck out for him over the years, and he pretty much, gave him a hard time. Tom Brady had him living in his house.
As a matter of fact, here's what Tom Brady had to say about the situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a difficult situation, and I think we all want him to just I think everybody should find hopefully do what they can to help him in ways that he really needs it. And we all love him, we care about him deeply. We want to see him be at his best, and unfortunately won't be with our team, but we have a lot of friendships that will last. And again, I think the most important thing about football are the relationships with your friends and your teammates, and they go beyond the field. And I think everyone should be very compassionate and empathetic toward some very difficult things that are happening.
Okay, that's a good friend.
He sounded like he loved his God, man.
Yeah,
man. He tried to do his best by the God, man, and that's kind of like getting your friend a job, man, and then he go to work and just start acting crazy.
They start stealing from the supply room or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
You know what I mean? But if you notice, though, like when you watched a lot of this over the weekend, black people are very upset about this. You know, heard like chime-ins from like OJ. OJ ripped at him.
OJ was like, yo, man, Tom gave you a job.
Yep.
Let you stay in his house, man. And then he probably would have never gotten another NFL job if it wasn't for Tom Brady.
Yeah, like black folks are more like the quote Kwame Brown, man. Like you said, the old Tom told him when he was messing up when he was younger, man. He said, "Don't you ever give back that money they gave to you."
Right. I was telling Mike the other day, I said, old black man probably told him, said, never give him back that old white money.
That's
either,
right, man. Yeah, get that money
probably
back.
how I really would say
You got that contract. You giving that money back, man. Like do you think he played a mental health card at this point?
You know what?
What you laughing? What you laughing for, man? You know that's where it's going.
Again, if he has some mental health issues, I can respect that. I can respect.
Clearly,
I think he might have. I think he might have.
Yeah.
Clearly he does. Because I'm telling y'all, when I did the research on him, he's gotten into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. And
I remember seeing something with him and his baby mother on a lawn sometime.
Which one?
It was something crazy, man.
He's got like 3 or 4 of them.
It was something crazy. And again, man, I mean the situation that happened with him with Mike Tomlin and them in Pittsburgh, man. Pittsburgh. Come on, man. Like the dude.
What happened with him?
Well, I remember he had the joint where he had they had the meeting or something like that, like a meeting. You know how in the locker room you ain't supposed to record no meeting.
Yeah, you don't record the coach talking.
And if I remember correctly, I think he was one of the people that had his cell phone on. And Mike Tomlin said something. I want to say it might have been considered as like homophobic or something like that, or something along those lines. Whatever he was saying it was locker room conversation.
We tell you folks always go back and do your research just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
I'm just speculating right now, but bottom line, it was locker room conversation that didn't need for everybody to hear. You know what I mean? So again, the guy, man, I don't know, man.
He has a lawsuit out, for like his former trainer. I think the lady's name was Brittany.
Oh yeah, when she claimed the sexually
assaulted her like 3 times.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of things that he allegedly did.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of the show, he allegedly did it. Nobody comes back to sue us. Yeah, allegedly did it. So yeah.
But again, like somebody said, what is the old statement? Where there's smoke, there's fire. Like everything is going wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like you're in the middle of everything is going wrong, man. I'm not saying that he's responsible for all of it. I'm just saying, like, at some point, man, you gotta step aside and say, listen, man, let me grow up, pull myself away from this situation, and I don't know, stand back and take a look at your life, man.
Yeah,
you're doing too much, man.
Here's what Mike Vick has something to say about their time together as teammates, and also his reaction to the whole situation. All right.
Been very confused. For AB, and just in any case, this is just not normal. I think first and foremost, if AB's to ever play in the National Football League again, he has to get some type of help. because this is just not normal.
Tell
Like
you, mental
I
health,
would
man.
never seen this coming. Being his teammate in Pittsburgh, he didn't display this type of, he didn't display this type of attention or attitude.
Behavior.
I thought AB
Notice how
was
she
a constant
corrected him.
teammate. When I was there, we had a couple rifts in terms of me not getting him the ball, so I seen a different side of him that I was trying to understand. But I just got there, and he was a guy who was there for a couple years. He was entitled to speak up about not getting the ball, but I just got there and was learning the system. I thought that was a little off. But other than that, me and him, we've always been cool. And as a teammate, I always had a lot of respect for him. But when you do something like that, it's more so of a disgrace to the National Football League and the opportunities that's being given. And then you got to look at a lot of the young kids who watch the game and love the game, and then they got to see that type of behavior.
So I'm gonna stop. I stopped it right there.
That's it, man.
It's the babies, man. Yeah, because what happens is this is
not normal.
It's not normal. It's not normal. But you know what? It's crazy because you have like a whole lot of generations that's just like this cat, man. You know what I mean?
And let me tell you what's crazy about that. That's coming from a man who fights dogs.
Right.
I can't even say allegedly because he was convicted. No, he was convicted of that. So I mean, it is what it is. Yeah.
This is a man that fight dogs, man. He don't mind betting some money in a cellar somewhere with dogs, killing each other, man. And he says it's not normal. He says what you're doing is not normal.
OJ said it was wrong. OJ said it.
Yeah, OJ said it was wrong.
OJ said it was wrong.
Yeah, the Jews said it didn't make no sense.
Who gave the mic to OJ? Like, how does he get to even speak?
Oh no, I got to correct you, ma'am. I'm wondering why they didn't give the mic to OJ. They should give it to him more often, man. OJ Simpson. Put some respect on his name.
Left, guys.
Have you seen the Naked Gun?
Yeah, that man's a Hall of Famer, man. I mean, if you want to ask him questions about anything else in life, maybe he can't answer that. But when it comes to football, he's a aficionado.
Yeah, he got it right. He got to write his opinion.
Yeah. Orange juice.
We're not talking about the justice system. We're not talking.
Yeah, that's orange juice to you. Yeah, man. But when a guy like Michael Vick says something like that, man, come on, man. Like, and again, us as people that grew up in the neighborhood, man, like, come on, man. When the neighborhood start talking to you like that, this ain't just like, like the highfalutin and whatever. This is the neighborhood talking to you. They're saying, listen, man, you're doing too much. He's been doing too much for a while.
Yeah.
Doing too much for a while.
So that's what it is that, I like what Mike Vick said on that one, man. It's these kids, man.
Yeah.
Somewhere there's a kid that want to get in the NFL and he's looking up to you.
Honestly speaking, I've never seen this type of act in no sport. Whereas, like, I'm talking about in the street where somebody just does this kind of thing and they're on your team. You know what I mean? Growing up, I mean, if you didn't do this on the street, there's no way in the world you should do it in the National Football League. And like you said, you're teaching children. What are you teaching children?
Yeah.
If he wanted to walk off the field, I would have completely respected him. You don't like what his coach said. He got into a situation. If he had grabbed his uniform or just stayed in uniform and just walked off the field, he could have did it in the same fashion that he did it in. And then walk to the press conference or something and say, listen, man, these guys said something to me disrespectful. I couldn't take it. I'm out of here. I would have respected that.
And I think he ended up at the Nets game or something that night, didn't he?
Yeah, well,
yeah. He never left out of, he went to the city.
Well, when you want to get in the bottom, perfect place to go is Brooklyn. Perfect place to go. Just go relax.
Yeah, you sitting right there watching the game like nothing happened a couple hours ago.
If you wanna find some nut job to co-sign what you did, take it right to Brooklyn, man.
Yeah,
man.
Right there.
So the guy just, if you look at his rap sheet, it's just
it's a rap sheet.
Yeah,
rap sheet.
I'm looking at the history, man, and you know how on when you Google somebody and they break down different areas of their life, like they'll say the early years, career.
Yeah, right.
He has a whole section that says controversies, and it's paragraphs.
Now listen, the guy played so good. He played so good in his little time that he's been there. He won a Super Bowl, man. At worst case scenario, if he got into that situation the other day and just walked off the field, he would be getting a nice check from somebody next year, from somewhere. But now nobody wants to touch him.
Right. So he kind of screwed himself.
And like I said, I was talking to a guy on Facebook earlier, and he's trying to defend this, man. And I'm like, dude, like, he's stripped. He's stripped on national television, man. Come on, man. You're a black man. There's something in you, certain things you just don't do, man.
And he did what he did, like a couple of jumping jacks too.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
And
I don't know, maybe
the crowd up.
Yeah, maybe it was done, like I said, maybe he can play the mental health card later. Like I had a breakdown.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Well,
but you know what? Yeah, I know
allegedly. Come on,
allegedly. Yeah.
Gosh, but to sue, man.
The thing of it is, man, is that just I hate when African, us as black people, man, we just play ourselves out on a large scale, man. And again, I think about all the money that he left on the table, man. He left a lot of money on the table, man, where it could have helped his family and generations.
I'm saying, you got 4 kids. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Or check this out. CTE. What do you think? He plays the CTE card.
I don't know, man. He ain't gonna never get a job at football. No
no, that's over. But I mean,
he can scratch that. He can play whatever card he wants to play. What happens is in football, football is different from, actually, to be honest with you, he's gotten more chances in football than most. You know what I mean?
What made you say that?
Because there's a lot of people in football that may have been similarly talented or maybe slightly less talented, that once they did something like this, they was out.
Michael Vick.
It was out.
Man.
I mean, it's amazing that Vick even got a job.
Yeah.
And look how talented he was.
Look how long it took. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That stretch in between then.
Yeah, I mean, he really messed himself up, man, and he embarrassed himself. And again, I don't know what the nature of the situation is, but I don't think there's no reason at the end of the day to strip and run off the field.
Yeah, they was on. I'm surprised they didn't bang him on that fake vax card too.
Well, again, they were saying that
he had a fake card.
Yeah, and they were saying again how the organization somewhat supported him through that.
How they know the card was fake?
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Well, everybody's doing that now.
Everybody got that fake fax card. Not nobody on this show, by the way, but. We got to clarify that, y'all. Nobody on this show got a fake vax card, right?
Yeah, everybody's doing that now, man. That's the new thing.
Oh, that's old. That's
vax cards is like driver's license.
Yeah,
that's like the IDs
fake driver's
back in the 90s.
Yeah, it's like fake driver's license, right? But yeah, he embarrassed himself, man. And when you got cats like Michael Vick and O.J. Simpson telling you did wrong, you're bad off, man.
But you know who wants his spot though?
Who's that?
Terrell Owens. And he had this to say.
Where they are in the season, they don't need me for a 16-game season.
3 games, that's it.
Right, 3 to 4 games at the max. Yeah. So, yes, I feel like I can go in, I can contribute at a high level and can be productive based on.
I'm not even going any further than that.
Wait, who is that?
Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens.
That was not T.O.
That is T.O., man.
But you know what? but you know the funny thing about that is he's a perfect example to talk about in regard. He's a perfect person to talk about in regards to this because he left money on the table.
He sure did.
He left money on the table, man.
And had a lot of emotional. He played that card. He had a lot of emotional stuff going on.
Yeah, and again, it's sad because what did Mr. Magic used to say? Any fool can learn from his own mistakes, but it takes a wise man to learn from the mistakes of others.
Truth.
He has so many. This kid Antonio Brown has so many examples of people who have messed up the bag in football. He has so many examples, man.
So you learn from your forerunners.
Yeah. It's something about wide receivers, man. They always like that prima donna mind state, man. It's something weird about a lot. The best wide receivers are usually like weirdos, you know what I mean? Something is off with them. Michael Irvin, Randy Moss. It seemed like the only one that was kind of like he had some sense was Jerry Rice.
All right, one more, because now that you mentioned Randy Moss, here's what he had to say.
Pattern, the hard work we know, but also the drama has been a pattern. Randy, do you believe that there will be another spot for him to land in the NFL?
No, I don't, Susie. And just because of the things that Book said, you know, I've said this time and time again about the code, the brotherhood.
Yes.
And Book, and let me restate it. Let me say it again. We don't care as players, Susie, what you do during the week. Yeah. We care about the 3 hours that we come together as one. And I know there are a lot of people that are going to be talking about the mental health issues. And I don't want, if it's a mental health issue for Antonio Brown, so be it, and let it be serious.
Yeah.
But the way that we're taking mental health issues in our country is very serious. So I don't want it to be a cop-out where you're taking a mental health over here versus stupidity. Because
Well, that was well said.
Enough said.
That was hard.
Enough said.
That was hard.
Mental health over stupidity.
Yeah, and he basically telling you, like, you can't fake it either.
Right.
If we're going to say it's a mental health issue, don't sit here and play a game like it's like I got mental health issues when you really don't. You just a nut job.
Dummy.
Yeah.
You're just a nut job.
Yeah,
and again, listen to the people that you're talking about. This is Randy Moss, man.
Now,
Randy Moss, I believe, mooned the cameras a couple of times or something like that, man. This is Randy Moss.
No
and
way.
again, Randy Moss was the original bad boy. He's the original
one
bad
of
boy
the-
in the NFL.
one
One
of
of the bad boys in the NFL.
yeah.
I'll even go so far as to say, next to Michael Irvin, he's number 2. He's number 2. Michael Irvin was, put it like this, we don't know what Michael Irvin did. The cameras wasn't out with Michael Irvin.
Yeah, he kept the after party swerving from me.
Yeah.
He was nuts.
You know what I mean? We just hear stories of Michael Irvin. You know what I mean? So that is what it is. But this is Randy Moss talking, man. That's sad, man. You know, Randy Moss, who has done probably everything in NFL that he could possibly do. Then you got Michael Vick, a dog fighter. They talking to you like, yo, let's get it together, man. And again, it's over for him.
Yeah, should be old enough to know better.
I doubt very seriously you get another check in the NFL.
Nah, I mean, this one is pretty much over, but, you know.
It's sad.
Meech was about to cape for him earlier, man. Then she pulled off.
Because I like crazy, but I had to do my research. You know what I mean? I like when people do stuff like that. I'll be like, you know what? They crazy. I like it. It's something about it. But when I did my research on him, I see that it's he's been in a lot of things have been happening in his life.
Yeah.
Who tosses furniture off the 14th floor? You got sued for that.
Let me tell you about Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady is a sick individual himself, man, because let me tell you, anytime you want a Super Bowl that bad where you let a nut like this stay in your own home, man.
With your supermodel wife.
With your wife and everything else, man. Tom Brady is a sick dude, man. He really likes championships.
Yeah, he's all about winning.
He's all about winning, man.
That's his friend.
Heck of a quarterback right there.
That's his friend, and it hurt. But probably what hurt more is the fact that, man, he's so close. He's so close
to that next chip, man.
He was just messing up the ring and everything, man.
Yeah,
you know.
Tom was trying to slide him back up in there, man. But what's the name? And what's the name? Didn't like him either from the get go. The coach, Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians didn't like him.
I like him from the get go, man.
I think you said it best. It's like getting your friend a job. You know what I'm saying? Like you get, and I think we all been there before, where we put our name out for somebody, and put our, tried to help a friend out, and they got to the job,
came up in here acting crazy.
Right. I mean, if anything, be appreciative. That man, it's people that stuck they neck out, put their neck on the line for you. You're not very appreciative if you could just do what he did.
Yeah.
But then again, we don't know what really.
But you don't know
down.
the full context until he actually speaks for himself. You know what I mean?
And he might not speak. He might march on us. He might really.
Yeah, then he tweet like a gremlin, something or other like that.
Something crazy,
but like cryptic garbage.
But again, the whole point is that, again, I don't know what was said to him on the sidelines.
Right.
But that whole stripping garbage, man, is weird. You know what I mean? And in the words of Michael Vick, it's off. Something's off.
It's off.
It's just not right.
Yeah.
What they saying? What's it? The movie Life can't get right. Man.
Can't get right.
He just can't get right. Just can't get right, man. It's like the David Ruffin of the NFL, man.
I feel bad because, you know, at this point, if he can make a decision like this, at this point, what is he going to do?
He got enough money. He think
enough money to figure it out. Yeah,
he's young, so he think he have enough money, and that's the problem with NFL. You know, NFL money ain't like basketball money. It ain't like baseball money. I'm not gonna say that. You know, maybe he might invest wise, but from what he did on the field, it doesn't look like he's like that wise.
Did you say he should invest in it or work there? What did you say?
What'd you say, me?
I said he's going to end up working at Dunkin' Donuts.
But no, you can't work at Dunkin' Donuts because Eric Adams said, smart. we already discussed that. That's not a job for intelligent people. Never hold a corner office working at Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh my goodness!
And Antonio
I can't believe
Brown
he said that.
In Antonio Brown's case, he might be right.
And we bringing it back full circle.
Full circle. So the moral to this story, kids, is keep your shirt on and you won't have to work at Dunkin' Donuts.
You're right. Right. You're right.
All right,
if you mess with the bag like that, you might not be able to work in the corner office, man.
Nah.
It's just crazy because you know what? I think that's like the epitome of taking what you have for granted, not being appreciative at all.
Listen to the regular conversation for the barber shop in the hood is, would you get in the ring with Mike Tyson for $1 million? You know what I mean? That's just a regular conversation, right? And people always talk about what they will do for this amount of money or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And again, would you sit there and just listen to somebody say something crazy for the check that he's making? I might let you get away with a lot. I'm not gonna let you talk to me. I'm not gonna let you get crazy.
No.
You know what I mean? But look at what you did without a regular job.
Yeah.
You know how much slick racism conversation goes on at a regular job?
Oh my God, that's why I left my last job. My boss had the nerve to say to me, listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. First of all, I knew something was wrong because the second day I was there, he was like, oh, I think I'm gonna get sushi. So he was like, you want some sushi? And I was like, nah, my stomach been acting funny. I better not. You know what I mean? So he was like, well, I'm gonna order some sushi. So he comes back into my office and he says, well, I ordered the sushi. By the time you walk and go get it, it should be ready. I knew from that moment I didn't need to be there. But one day I'm driving home and I used to I worked by the Tappan Zee, the Tappan Zee Bridge. Well, Mario Cuomo, whatever y'all want to call it. I worked in Nyack. So I go across the bridge or whatever. And when I go across the bridge, I get to work. He's like, why? I guess the day before he saw where I pulled out the driveway and I made a left instead of a right. So he was like, why you take that way home? I said, I like to ride past the water. I like to look at the water. It's a nice park. He's like, nobody white goes to that park. So I'm like, excuse me? He's like, there's too many people getting shot and stabbed in there. I said, that's odd. Because every day that I go past the park, there's nothing but white people in there.
That's why he was sending you to get that sushi.
You know what I'm saying? And then, he just said a lot of racist stuff. Because, even when I would order the sushi, for him to have it delivered, because I wasn't walking and going getting no sushi, and the goal of people nowadays, this is 2022. Well, at the time it was 2021. People still think that, they're entitled to servants. I don't get it.
Oh, they probably still do in 2022. We only a couple of days in. So give it some time.
It's sad.
And you did.
It's really sad.
And you kind of sold out. You just compromised.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna state his nationality, but it is what it is sometimes. So anyway, it's just sad. So, for him to say that to me, even when I did order the sushi, he would wear the gooks with my food. Like, what?
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, you know, and
hello.
He went Korean War on you real quick.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Vietnam.
And my thing is, I'm used to, you know, one thing I can say about Delaware when I was living down there, you know, it's a banking environment, and a lot of the things, you know, that we experienced was in the corporate world. You know what I mean? And I'm not used to people talking like that.
The straight up racism.
Yeah, and I couldn't, and there's nothing I could do because guess what? He owns his own business.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, Trump bought him back out, man.
Yeah.
Trump bought him out.
It's sad.
Bring him out.
It's really sad because
Trump bought him out.
You know, it's racism out there. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't. I guess it just wasn't as open until you know Trump got in office.
The bottom line of everything is, don't mess up the bag. Don't take off your clothes and strip. You know, for nobody. You know, that's a little crazy, and that's the end of it.
All right, y'all. With that said, gotta hit the wrap up music. All right. Well, it's good to have the team back. You know, we're gonna continue to fight this 19. Me and Just. All right. Back to back on it, right? All right. Yeah. So, closing remarks we got for you guys. You can check out the Only One Mic podcast on all major platforms that you stream your podcast on. And please don't forget to rate the show and subscribe. I like when they say smash up the likes. Smash up the likes. Smash up the likes. All right. We also on YouTube, y'all. I get that information out, but just check for us on YouTube. Also on Instagram and Twitter at The Only One Mic P1, Facebook and LinkedIn at The Only One Mic Podcast, and you can hit us up on email at theonlyonemic00@gmail.com. Brooklyn Dre, just me. And big shout outs to Tosh B. We're gonna get her back on here real soon. Miss you, Tosh. All right. So in closing, to say thank you as always. We hope that your time was well spent with us. And speak your truth quietly and clearly. Listen to others, even adult and ignorant, because they too got their story to tell. All right, y'all. We signing off. Peace.
Peace.